Hi guys, I'm back. I can't believe it. It hasn't even been a week and I'm gonna go see another horror movie at the cinemas. I love this time of year, or really whenever it happens, that I get to go see so many horror movies at the cinema. Today's a little bit different. It's Annabelle Comes Home. We're gonna get into it, but at first I do wanna say that this is gonna be at a different cinema. It's not a Fright Night special, so there's not gonna be any cool walkthrough, but I really loved all your comments and how much you guys appreciate those walkthroughs. It's very cool, but I do wanna say it's not a thing that all Australian cinemas do by any means. It's just that one cinema, but I do love it and I do realize how lucky I am, so don't worry. But today I'm gonna go see Annabelle Comes Home. I have to be completely honest, I'm going in with super low expectations, although I did like the last Annabelle prequel. I thought it was quite cool and unexpected, so I'm hoping it'll be like that, but I have a feeling it's not going to be. Low expectations, so I just wanted to make that very clear before we go in. This movie, of course, stars Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson, as always, but it also stars McKenna Grace, who I really loved in I, Tonya, so I'm very excited to see her performance. The movie's plotline surrounds a night when a babysitter is taking care of Ed and Lorraine's daughter when they unknowingly awaken an evil spirit trapped in a doll. That doll, of course, being Annabelle. If it wasn't Annabelle, that would kind of be really cool though. Like Robert or Chucky or, you know, like the boy. That would be interesting, at least. I really don't have high expectations for any Conjuring spin-offs anymore. I didn't mind The Nun. You guys know I think I was pretty on the fence with The Nun, but it's just sucking it dry at this point. And you know, La Llorona was definitely the same for me. But I do want to go through the timeline really quickly, just so we can kind of figure out where everything is meant to line up and match up, because it does get very confusing. So the first film in the Conjuring series is, of course, The Nun, which was based in 1952. From there, we go straight into Annabelle Creation, which is 1955, which is the film that I was pleasantly surprised by. Then goes to Annabelle in 1967. The Conjuring finally begins in 1971, and this film takes place in the same year, in 1971. That's Annabelle Comes Home. The Curse of La Llorona is in 1973, The Conjuring 2 being 1977, and we're not really sure about The Conjuring 3 yet. But with that being said, let's go find out more about this doll. I hope you guys aren't mad that I'm not really thrilled about this one. It will be great if I walk out and it was better than expected, but I can't hide my lack of enthusiasm for these films anymore, and I'm sure you guys appreciate the honesty. So let's just go check it out, and I'll let you guys know, of course, spoiler free, if you should see it this weekend. Boys and girls, listen up. I have just finished watching Annabelle Comes Home. And you're gonna wanna listen to this because I'm gonna save you some time. This film, mark my words, this is the first time this has happened since I started this channel. This film put me to sleep. I fell asleep in the cinema. Oh my god, so this film is the 7th installment in the Conjuring series, spin-offs, whatever you want to call it. It takes place just after the Warrens have taken the doll and they take it home. As I said, it takes place on a night where the daughter is being babysat by a older girl, and then her friend comes over and spooky shit happens. But nothing actually happens. This film is M, which is insane to me. Beck, if you're watching, I went to the movies with Beck. It is M rated. It seemed like a PG. It seemed like Goosebumps. The whole thing was meant to be like tension building, but it felt like they missed the music, like they didn't even put the music into the film. And it was just silence of people walking around a house for an hour and a half, and everything was happening so slow. It's almost like Mandy with no build-up. There was no tension, and it was just boring. Stakes were not high, and nothing really happened. There's some really bad CGI. And it seems like there was a lot of characters introduced just to set up the next film, but it just felt like a Goosebumps movie. It felt like a Goosebumps movie and not in a good way. Like, I'm all about Carly Beth. I think she's great, she's kooky, she's a little quirks turks, and she's fun. She's a little bit bitchy, and we like that about her. But this film did not have any. It did feel like it was like the Babysitter's Club meets a Goosebumps film, but it didn't have any heart, it didn't have any soul, and nothing really happens at all. I fell asleep. And when I say that, I mean I was like struggling to keep my eyes open because the whole thing is in the dark and nothing is happening. There's no music. You guys know how much I love the music, and I actually really love the music from the previous Annabelle, the prequel. I had one of the songs on my spooky playlist, Something Haunting. If you haven't heard of that, it's just look up Spooky Astronauts on Spotify. Anyway, it's my spooky playlist. But I really like the soundtrack, and what I appreciate, what I respect about the Conjuring films is that they're all based in, like the 60s and the 70s or earlier, there's a lot of them, but they all have that kind of feel, and then they have the retro title, like the big Exorcist title. So I really like when they have really, daunting, intense music that goes along with that, theatrical, like full on, and this movie stripped like the only good thing about those films. And really, nothing happens. So I really don't have much to tell you guys, but really don't waste your time. I normally say go check it out anyway, but really just wait until it comes onto Blu-ray or DVD or streaming, because it's probably not worth your time. Hold up. Guys, I'm coming across really harsh in this. I want you to remember that this is my initial reaction after seeing the film and after falling asleep. I do think that you might like this film, and some people love this film, but what I should have said is that I don't think it's worth running out to the cinema to see. I think if you're gonna see it and you're tied between two films, just wait for this one to come out on DVD or streaming. I hope that makes sense. Another thing that the film really sucked at, wow, I'm getting brutal. Normally I'm not this brutal. It was the comedy. I've been talking about recently, I like a lot of films. I really love how Jordan Peele can kind of switch between the comedy aspect and the horror and straight back, and I liked that about Child's Play. I thought that they did that really well. This film was trying to do that, and all of the other Conjurings have some kind of like banter kind of moments between people, but this one was really heavy on the comedy aspect because it was like basically about teenagers, but none of it was funny. It was just like awkward and lame and trying very hard. So it was just a really awkward movie in that regard. The whole thing about the film is it had no tension, which the Conjuring films, they do okay. Like, I'm not the best fan of the Conjuring films, but I do believe the last one had a lot of tension in it. Even La Llorona had a lot of tension, and if people think that The Nun is a shit film, I raise you. I raise you this film. I call your bluff, because at least The Nun had something to it. It had a storyline, and my biggest takeaway is the fact that we've just gone from all these elaborate, twisted, dark stories to a babysitter looking after a kid for a night, and will they survive? Like, that is literally the storyline, and I'm very surprised by it. I'm very surprised that they've gone from all these elaborate, detailed stories to this really shallow one. It's kind of sad, and it makes me really sad that this was the one that was dedicated to Lorraine Warren, because obviously she passed away this year, and it's so sad that this movie was kind of dedicated to her in a way. Anyway, I really don't have much more to say about this one, guys. This is spoiler free, so I'm not going to go into detail with certain aspects that really sucked, but it was just an overall sucking. And yeah, I really wouldn't recommend you go see it, but if you have seen it and you did like it, please don't take any of this into offense. I'd love to hear what you have to say below. This is just my own humble opinion, and I watch them sometimes so you guys don't have to, but if you did like it, I am glad, because at least someone got something out of this film and it wasn't all in vain. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely didn't enjoy this movie, so I hope that you guys at least enjoyed this video. I will talk to you guys very soon. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like my ranting, give it a thumbs up, and let me know what you think below, if you've seen it or if you're not gonna see it. And if you haven't subscribed, do so. 2 videos every single week, and I'll talk to you guys very soon. Stay spooky. Stay spookier than this film. It's not hard, but just talking about this film has put Gromit to sleep.